All right, chances are if you're working out, you're probably doing one of these exercises wrong. Stop doing that, don't get yourself injured. My name's Nicole, I'm a doctor of physical therapy, and I'm gonna show you how to work out, maximize your strength, and reduce your injury. Let's go. Exercise 1, a deadlift. Super good move, but a lot of people do it wrong, and I've treated a lot of injuries with this one. So, and by the way, I'm going light because I'm showing you wrong ways to do it, and I'm not injuring myself. This goes for any deadlift. If you're doing stiff leg deadlifts, Romanian, whatever, anything with the name deadlift in it, all this applies. The most common mistake is people get ready, and then before they even lift, their hips go back. So I just put all the pressure in my back doing that. What you want to do, typically you'd have weights so it'd be a little higher, but it should all come from your legs, and that bar should just drag up and down your legs. Another common mistake is that when people go down, they start with going at their hips, their legs don't bend, and then they start to round their back. That, big no. Okay, next exercise is a hip thrust. Honestly, this is like the goat of glute exercises. If you're not doing a hip thrust, add it in, but make sure you add it in correctly. Most common mistake I see is people don't set this up right. Whatever you're using should go under your shoulder blades. Then when your hips go up, you want to make sure not to overextend. So overextending looks like this. My back is super arched. That is how you get hurt. I tell people, tuck your pelvis a little. I wouldn't go full pelvis tilt because you're gonna severely shorten your range of motion because your hip flexors are shortened. So try to keep a neutral spine, maybe a little bit more of a tuck, and then go up. And then down. And again, I'm not getting to the point where I'm flat here. If I'm flat here, I'm probably arching my back. And this movement should be felt in your glutes. If your feet are too far out, you might feel it a little bit more in your hamstrings. If they're too close, you're gonna feel it more in your quads. So make sure your feet are set right. All that movement comes from your heels, and most important thing is just make sure you're not arching your low back. A shoulder press. A couple common things with this one is people set their elbows out to 90 degrees. That is terrible for your shoulders. This is how you're gonna injure your shoulder. So you wanna take your elbows a little bit in front of you, so if you're looking straight forward, you should be able to see them in your point of view, and then press up. Another thing to remember is that as you press up, this is just an upper body movement, so you're not arching your back. So you don't wanna arch your back. If you have to arch your back to get the weight up, go lighter. It's too heavy. So again, elbows a little bit in front of you, pressing up, keep that core nice and tight. Next we're touching on squats. Now this is like, there's a lot that can go wrong in a squat. So my best advice is start light, and then as you get comfortable, go up. So we're going with barbell squats, but just things I want to focus on without the bar first. Your knees, when you squat, they should be in line. They shouldn't cave in, and they shouldn't push too much out. So I usually tell people try to imagine pushing out, but obviously you don't want to go crazy. So this is a no. This is where your knees should be. From the side, you really want to make sure your pelvis is in a good position. Something that I see a lot is people go all the way down. They get a rounding of the back at the bottom. Add a rounding plus weight on top of you, you're gonna be seeing a physical therapist. So a lot of times when you add weight, it happens to bring you forward. You wanna make sure your chest stays up, pelvis is neutral, and if you feel like you're rounding your back, then don't go as low. The old saying is ass to the grass. Well, that's only if you're strong enough. Don't put your ass to the grass if you're not gonna be able to get back up. Again, I'm focusing on this bar not pulling me forward, chest is up, my knees are out. Boom. Another thing that I also see a lot of times is if it's too heavy, people will squat down and then shoot their butt up and come up like that. That, again, same movement we talked about in a deadlift. Your hips should not be shooting up first. Push through your heels, drive your chest up, keep it up. Something that you should also do if you're really uncomfortable with squat, get a spotter. Make sure your spotter knows what you're comfortable with, or some gyms have rails that you can put so that you can crash onto them if needed. We're gonna go over leg press. So very common mistake I see is that people take this thing way too close to their body, and then it gets that rounding of the back. That puts your back in flexion, plus adding weight onto that. That is how you get injuries, and not good ones. When this leg press comes down, you wanna stop. Whenever your pelvis can't hold its neutral position, that's when you wanna stop. So if I go down too far, this is gonna start to come up, and I don't even wanna like show you completely because like, it's not good for you. This stays flat against the seat, a little tiny neutral position. Next, we're gonna do a bench press. We're gonna do it with dumbbells because honestly, you should be training with dumbbells. If you have a weak arm and you're using a barbell, your strong side is gonna push that weak side up. If you're using dumbbells, both my arms have to push it up. It's just going to be better to balance your strength out. Common thing here, same thing we talked about with the shoulder press, the elbows flare out. You wanna bring your elbows in slightly to reduce any shoulder injury. Same with your wrist here. You don't wanna make your wrist fall back and support that weight. You want to keep them relatively straight. So, the wrong way that people do is all the way out. This puts so much strain on my shoulder, and then the wrist will flop back. So, how to fix that? Straighten the wrist, bring your elbows a little bit forward, and then press up. Now I know the traditional way is if you're lifting super heavy, you push your lats into the bench and you arch your lower back. That is a powerlifting move. However, if you're doing a chest press and you feel it in your low back, don't do that. You can have someone spot your elbows as well to make sure that you're not going past your body. If you're going past your body, you run the risk of tearing up your shoulders. We're gonna go over a row. A lot of people do this with momentum and they're not using their back at all. They're using biceps and momentum. If you're doing a row and your upper body is moving like this when you're rowing, what are you doing? First thing I always tell people, set your shoulder blades back. So this is relaxed, this is set back. From here, I'm pulling. And then I'm going to squeeze my shoulder blades while my arms come forward. And I don't even let that go. I'm still squeezed back there. That's gonna make it more of a back move and less of a bicep move. So we're gonna go over bicep curls because I see a lot of people use momentum on this one too. Same thing, you wanna set your shoulders down and back and then slowly curl up and slowly down. If this is how you get your bicep curl up, you need to go lighter. Bicep curls can be done anyway. This is a hammer curl, but the same thing still applies. You don't want to be swinging it up. No bueno. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna make this like a series, so if you want tips and tricks on exercises, leave them in the comments and I will address them in the next video. But for now, I will see you in next week's video. Bye.